The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It's game day. Well, it's game day for the last time in the preseason. Jets-Eagles tonight. This one's all about who's going to make the 53. Jets insider Nick Faria will join us for a full game preview and much, much more. We're live from Circa Las Vegas. It is the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, AG's first training camp with the New York Jets is underway.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
We're live in Las Vegas. Contest weekend for Circa Las Vegas continues. And a quick reminder that the Jake Asman Show is available in audio form wherever you get your podcast, Apple or Spotify. Just search Jake Asman Show. Leave a 5-star review. And by the way, if your review is funny, we will read it on the air next week. But once again, we are available in audio form. So check that out. With that said, let's say hello right now in his weekly spot to Jets reporter Nick Faria from JetX, JetsXFactor.com. Nick, happy game day. Happy Friday. What's going on, my friend?
Great to be back on, Jake. Exciting time. My favorite preseason game of the year, the third and final one where everyone fighting for a roster spot is getting one last chance to do so.
So let's certainly get into that. And you know the Eagles' perspective very well, so that could add some intrigue to this one later. But before we get to any of that, let's talk about the two trades the Jets have made this week. They did it within, 8 to 10 hours apart. They add two big time, one big time and one depth defensive tackle to this team. Give us your thoughts on the two trades the Jets made, acquiring, of course, Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs.
His focus is purely really on Darren Muji. He's the GM, clearly, that we have seen that is not going to sit back and watch team needs continue. And I think that's one of the things a lot of executives around the NFL, they essentially wait until the trade deadline to see where the team is at before making any moves. Some executives say, hey, we're not making a trade right before the regular season. There's not enough practice time to get these guys started. Darren Muji is not one of those guys, and I think that is a perfect way to describe it, and I really do believe it's the best move forward for the Jets. I've been impressed, obviously, with Aaron Glenn as a coach, but these are the kind of moves that make me impressed with what Darren Muji has done as an executive. Most people, I think we all can agree that going into camp, one of the bigger weaknesses, one of the bigger question marks was going to be who is going to start opposite Quinn Williams at defensive tackle. The fact that you're able to get Phillips, the fact you're able to get Briggs, two guys that have graded out very, very highly over the last few years, Briggs in particular from last season, for pennies on the dollar. You can't really get much better than that. This defensive tackle group is a lot better now than they were last week, and truly a group to watch in excitement for the start of the regular season.
In terms of what it now means for the other defensive tackles in that room, when you look at this game tonight, who's firmly on the bubble now? Who's fighting for a spot? Because the two guys they just acquired are obviously going to be on the 53.
So as of right now, I think the two clear-cut, no-brainer guys, Byron Cowart, Quinn Williams, those are the two. Cowart's obviously been hurt really for the first time being a part of the Jets. But again, they've both been the best players. Those guys are safe. I think Jay Tufele has clearly been one of the better winners at the defensive tackle position. I think he is going to be safe. The big question is, what does this do for Leonard Taylor? Now, most people expect Taylor to be their best pass-rushing defensive tackle outside of Quinn Williams, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be able to earn a roster spot at this point. You have Phillips, you have Briggs, both players really, really good for what they do specifically. Phillips, obviously more of a defensive tackle that plays against the run really well. Same thing for Briggs. Taylor having that pass rush ability can certainly help. But now we're talking essentially about keeping 6 tackles as opposed to maybe 4 edge rushers. That balance is going to be a big question mark. So I think Leonard Taylor is probably the one player you saw on his Twitter feed today, essentially saying it's all in God's hands now. Interesting comment to make right before the third and final preseason game. Not really sure what that's about, but if we're talking about players on the bubble, it really seems that Taylor is the cutoff here. A lot of people think that he's going to be safe. A lot of people think that he's on the bubble. These two trades, it's going to be interesting to see. If he's playing today, that means he is firmly on the roster bubble.
Can I throw a name at you in this defensive line room, a defensive end? Are we sure Tyler Barron's status on this team is secure? I know he was just drafted this past draft, but I feel like he hasn't done a whole lot. And when you start to do the numbers game on how many defensive tackles, how many defensive edges they're going to keep, I feel like Brady McGregor, Eric Watts, Leonard Taylor, Tyler Barron, I feel like all those guys firmly on the bubble when you look at the volume of players they might keep going into week one when they got to cut the roster on Tuesday to 53 players.
It's an interesting question to have because for an executive group, for Muji, for Aaron Glenn, it's not a good look. It's not a good look if you're cutting players after camp, essentially, that you guys just drafted. It means that your process is kind of missing in that way. And as of right now, I think with the injury to Rashad Weaver, now that he's gone on IR, it opens up a big question mark because right now the third edge rusher is Michael Clemens. And that's essentially what you're looking at. So it's Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, Michael Clemens, and then you have that fourth and fifth spot. That's a big question mark. And I do think because he was drafted, Barron will make the team. I think he's relatively safe in that regard. And then you sort of move forward there and say, okay, well, what do you do with Eric Watts? What do you do with Brady McGregor? Those kind of questions also need to be answered as well. But also, I do want to bring this up because when you're constructing the 53-man roster, it begs to have the question, begs the conversation. If you are keeping 4-5 running backs, that means there's got to be a player that's cut from a different position group. And I think the Jets will eventually keep 4 to 5 running backs if you count the fullback. There's not a lot of room here. There's going to be some good players cut, and that's what fans need to understand. Whether it's a receiver like Brandon Smith or Quentin Skinner, whether it's a defensive tackle like Leonard Taylor, whether it's a player in the secondary, there are going to be guys that are released that probably should make the roster or could make the roster on any other organization. But the way the Jets are building this team out, they want to do so in a way that's conducive for success for the Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji partnership. The only way you do that, the best way to get that working is to make sure that every single draft pick is on the 53-man roster. So I do think Barron is relatively safe, or at least more safe compared to a guy like Watts or McGregor.
In terms of the quarterback situation, let's talk about that now because there's the uncertainty of Tyrod Taylor's health going into the year. So it feels like you have Brady Cook and Adrian Martinez fighting for QB3. I'm still not convinced they necessarily would keep a third quarterback, but we don't know the status of Tyrod, so that certainly complicates the roster gymnastics there. Your thoughts on this QB3 battle going into tonight's game?
Well, it's huge. This is the deciding game, really. And I do think that it's been pretty dead even for the most part. I do think Martinez played better in off-season workouts, but Brady Cook has closed the gap in a pretty substantial way over the last month. So, maybe they compete and the Jets try to keep 3 quarterbacks. That's also a potential possibility. Maybe they just sit there and say, you know what? These are 2 guys that we don't really want to deal with. We'll bring in a third one that gets cut. A name that I mentioned last week that could be in contention for that conversation is Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The Jets are about to get a clean look at him for an entire game, essentially, when they play Philadelphia tonight. Robinson is a player who fits the skill set of Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor, that scrambling zone read option type of plays. And when you have that quarterback, you're able to you don't have to change the system for each particular backup. That's kind of why you want a player like Tyrod Taylor backing up a guy like Justin Fields, because they have similar skill sets. They can run the same offense. You'd be able to do that with a guy like DTR, probably not for Brady Cook. So that's another part of the question that has to be answered and certainly will be answered tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria joining us at his weekly spot, Jets beat reporter for Jets X Factor. We're live in Las Vegas. Circa's contest weekend continues. Circa Survivor, Circa Pick'em. Which one should I sign up for at the end of the day today? That is the big question I'm deciding between. Shout out again to Circa for having us out here. Really, it feels like football, the unofficial start of football seasons when we do this trip each and every year. So again, thank you to Circa for making it all possible. Nick, I want to talk more about some of the key players to watch in this game tonight. Let's focus in on the wide receiver situation. How many receivers do you believe the Jets end up keeping? And it feels like, at least from my perspective, Brandon Smith, Jamal Pritchard, Quentin Skinner. Feels like those are the three to watch. And then, of course, the idea of, well, Xavier Gibson's hurt right now. Is he going to lose his spot? Is he a short-term, IR candidate? And that kind of creates another roster spot. Break down, in your opinion, the dynamics of the wide receiver room entering tonight.
So I think there's 4 players that are safe right now: Arian Smith, Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds, and Garrett Wilson. Those are the 4. I do believe the Jets are going to keep 4 running backs, Kenny Nagwanu being the returner, and your trio of backs that Aaron Glenn can't stop talking about. Of course, you have the fullback, so that also gets into the conversation as well. So that's 5. 5 runners, 4 receivers. If the Jets were to go out there and say, we want to bring in a 5th or a 6th wide receiver, who's that going to be? The names we haven't talked about. Obviously, Alan Lazard is one that could potentially be cut, could potentially be traded. But how about Malachi Corley, the former third round pick from the team just last season? Hasn't really gotten a fair tape during his rookie year. Hasn't really proved anything during training camp at this point. It is literally now or never for him. I'm a firm believer that the Jets want to see Malachi Corley do something positive, and if he can, they will use that as an excuse to keep him on the roster. If not, they will use one of these undrafted free agents. And the big question is, what would you prefer? Do you want the slot receiver in Jamal Pritchard, who does have special teams experience as a returner, or do you want bigger body guys like Quentin Skinner with his speed or Brandon Smith with his route running ability? All 3 players do something different. And it really is going to come down to what Tanner Engstrand, Aaron Glenn, and kind of Justin Fields, what they prefer to have in these kinds of borderline rosterable wide receivers. These guys are going to be on special teams for the most part. They're not going to be guys that are getting significant snaps on the offense. So it is purely a special teams decision, and that is where the question mark comes in. If you talk about draft capital and not trying to give up on players too early, then it's probably Corley. But if you're looking for speed, it's probably Skinner. If you're looking for shiftiness and a returner, it's Pritchett. There's a lot of different contextual pieces here that still need to be answered by the Jets before we make any type of decision or any prediction on which receiver gets kept.
Alan Lazard, do you think he's definitively on this team, or is he a short-term IR guy?
I think he could very well be a short-term IR guy. I think he could be cut. That is a question.
You can't cut him, because then he's going to go right to the Steelers and spill the beans on the entire playbook to Mike Tomlin before we.
Well, here's the other thing with this. I think a lot of people, you see this so many different times where players get cut and they get picked up by the week 1 team and they try to spread all the secrets and whatnot. From what I've heard from a lot of teams, they do not start game planning week 1 and in that same light of, okay, this is what we're going to do with the Steelers. This is how we're going to handle them. This is how we're going to do this. For most of training camp, it's going over particular plays, what works, and what different systems could be potentially run by opposition, not just Pittsburgh, in the future as well. But at the same time, if there's a trade offer for Lazard, I know a few teams are looking for receiver help. I don't know if Lazard would be the guy that they want. He could absolutely be a short-term IR guy. He'd stay on the roster. He could be the 5th receiver if the Jets really want a second blocking guy. There's too many. That's my point here. Before the 3rd preseason game, there's too much context that needs to be included. There's too many question marks that we just don't know at this point before these games actually kick off.
It's not about the game planning for week 1. It's just that he could say, hey, when they do this, this is the play. This is the routes that we have done the most. This is the RPO look we have with Fields. You can't take that risk. So you have to put him on IR, or you have to just keep him and then release him after week 1. I'm not helping Aaron Rodgers week 1. I won't do it.
Yeah, listen, I don't argue. I don't argue with any of that. It's just one of those things where this comes down to what the Jets would prefer. This comes down to what they want in a receiving group. They have sort of their blocking receiver with Josh Reynolds, and Tyler Johnson's another player who's done a pretty good job in a blocking scheme as well. Do you want a second one? And if you want a second one, well, then Lazard is clearly your guy because he is still a very good blocker. out wide. But if you want a consistent receiver, well, there are clearly other players that have done more in the offseason and in training camp for this team.
Nick, are you ready for an awesome Football Friday giveaway I'm about to announce?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Herm Edwards said you play to win the game. Today, we are playing for a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Mr. Third Down. Yeah.
Hello? You play to win the game.
That's right. End of the stream today in honor of Football Friday. It's the last game day before week 1. I'm giving away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Gift memberships for your chance to win. If you don't win in next week's raffle, you're automatically entered to win a signed Joe Namath jersey, a signed Kim Mawai jersey, and a signed photo of the New York Sack Exchange. So let's go big or go home. I'm in Vegas, baby. The first person that gifts 5 memberships or more, we double it. So if you get 5, you're in for 10. You give 10, you're in for 20. You give 20, you're in for 40. Your chance to win a signed Wayne Corbett jersey at the end of today's show. Oh, yeah. All right, Nick, some other things I want to hit on in regards to this game later. The safety spot, Malachi Moore, his standing going into this game. It felt like there was some buzz that maybe he could challenge Tony Adams potentially to be a starter on this team. I don't know if you get the sense that it's now Adams' job, but your thoughts on Moore. And then also, A.Z. Thomas is yet to play in the preseason. Feels like he could dress and play tonight for the first time. So your thoughts on those 2 young rookies in the Jets secondary?
2 players that are obviously safe on the roster. Malachi Moore probably is the more likely player to get playing time at all this season, or at least early on. One player that I do think people are glossing over at safety is Isaiah Oliver. When we talk about a player that can play a lot of different spots, Oliver is that guy. In his versatility, being able to play in the slot, being able to play outside at safety, he is one where I look and say he may not have shown anything massive in the preseason, but the role that he can play on this team is very, very important, where you don't have to force out a rookie that may not be ready at this point. So Moore very well could be that case. You could see both players play today. A.Z. Thomas, for the last month, really, before the injuries happened, I thought he's been pretty disappointing. 3rd-round pick. A lot of people were very high on him coming out of Florida State. The physicality that he played with was certainly popped on tape in college. But the speed and the lack of physicality, I think, has been the biggest surprise from him to this point. So obviously dealing with injuries will certainly affect that. We want to see him healthy, but he is in no way, shape, or form even close to beating out a guy like Brandon Stephens at this point this season. Maybe that changes later on in the year, but Stephens has been fantastic. It would be an absolute disaster if you have to play A.Z. Thomas over Brandon Stephens at this point, because Stephens has just looked great and Thomas has barely hit the field. So that's another piece to that. Exciting to see what he looks like in a game setting. Exciting to see what Moore looks like in a game setting. But really right now, the safety battle is essentially Andre Cisco, Tony Adams as your starters, Isaiah Oliver, and Moore as the immediate backups. And you can trust Oliver to play at least a little bit everywhere to give that flexibility.
It sounded like A.Z. Thomas was having a good camp, and then he unfortunately suffered the injury. So it would be nice to see him out there just to get a look where he's at going into the regular season.
Well, remember, there was one point during organized team activities, people thought that he would eventually replace Brandon Stephens.
Weren't you one of them? I read your stories on JetX.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I might have been, but it was one of those things where once the pads came on, Stephens elevated his game and Thomas didn't. And I think that's where the difference was. Thomas got beat a lot by Arian Smith in practices and team drills. It's just one of those things. It happens. It's a rookie. It's a mid-round rookie where he's got to learn the entire game. It's why he was a 3rd-round pick, essentially. But not saying that they should give up on him in any way, but he's clearly not ready to hit the field as a starter going into the beginning of the season.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Nick Faria is with us in his weekly spot on the show. We are talking all things New York Jets, Eagles tonight. Eagles not going to play anyone. We know the Jets are not going to play most of their starters. I am curious, though, Nick, do you think that we will see Mason Taylor, Armand Membu, the other rookies that have real roles on this team, or are they kind of included in the no starters?
It's difficult to determine. You look at the Giants game yesterday. Abdul Carter, Jackson Dart, they both played. And at least, with Carter, he's going to have a big role on this team going into week 1. I could certainly see a path to see the Jets rookie class all getting some action, whether it's a series for Membu, a couple of series for Mason Taylor, whatever it ends up being. But you could certainly see a situation like that happen. But other starters that are going to be competing for playing time, I also believe you're going to see on this field. You're not going to see Sauce Gardner or Brandon Stevens, but you could see potentially some of the starters along the defensive line. Tufele, who was going to have a big role on this team, could potentially be playing. I don't think Will McDonald's going to play, but could we see Jermaine Johnson? He had such a great week of practice. Maybe they try to push him in a little bit.
No way. No way. They're not playing Jermaine.
Not saying it's going to happen, but hypothesizing. One of those things where if he's already practicing on the field in team drill,
you get the fuck out.
No way. They're not playing Jermaine tonight.
Listen, I don't think they should. I don't think they should play anyone. But, you never know. You never know.
That's all of us to Aaron Glenn if he puts Jermaine out there in the last game of the preseason.
Hey, listen, there's two. I don't think you're going to see a majority, if not all of the starters. Maybe like 20 of 22 projected starters aren't going to play today. But I think the rookie class certainly will be. To come back to it, I think the rookie class will definitely play. And then the question is, where are these other starters going to be coming from? Who are you going to trust to be on the field to make sure they don't actually, get hurt?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're tuned in late, I'm giving away an awesome giveaway in honor of the last preseason game today. It's game day. I'm in Vegas, so we're doing it up on a football Friday here at Circa Las Vegas. I'm giving away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. And Rasta Dread was the first person to gift memberships. And I said the first person that gifted 5 or more, we would double it. So, Rasta, you're in the raffle at the end of the show for 10.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Everyone who gifts is also in our weekly raffle, which will be early next week. Janice Jet, shout out to you, Janice, repping the 4%. Janice gifting 5 channel memberships. She now is in the raffle for 5.
Hello? You play to win the game.
We're playing to win a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. But wait, there is more memberships flying off the shelves. Jermaine, the prophet for Jets football, joins the raffle for 5.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Oh, but there's more. You hate me now. In for 5 as well. Let's go.
Money, 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 money.
If you just got a membership from any of those Asmaniacs, make sure you thank them. Some super chats here. Then we'll get to some calls with Nick as well. Big Country checks in with a $10 super chat. He joins the raffle for 2. Jake, your voice sounds a little raspy. Did you have a few too many last night? LOL. Glad to see you're having fun. Almost time for week 1. Let's go, Jets. I did have some cocktails last night. There's no doubt about it. Shout out to Circa for the awesome kickoff open bar party. This is Derek Stevens, the CEO of the place last night. So great time. We'll be joined by Mike Palm, who's one of the head honchos here at Circa a little bit later on, I should say, in today's show. So I'm looking to that. We'll talk about the contest and the betting lines. By the way, Jets 3-point underdogs at home week 1 against the Steelers, Nick. That seems to be the consensus line at all the big sports books, FanDuel, Circa. That's kind of the feeling. I don't know if it's going to move at all when we get closer. But right now, Jets are 3-point home underdogs week 1.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty fair, all things considered. I know Pittsburgh hasn't really had a great training camp themselves. They're struggling in the preseason at times with their offensive line. But this really just comes down to Justin Fields against Aaron Rodgers. And most bettors, most logical bettors would say they would take Rodgers in a matchup like this where he already wants to beat the Jets, essentially by saying, hey, you should have kept me for another year with Aaron Glenn. Screw you. I'm now going to ball out. That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's see. We got a super chat here from our pal G-Man. Any word of interest in Amari Cooper? Do you think the Jets could sign a guy like Amari Cooper? Is there a trade candidate you're looking at? Like, we didn't see Harrison Phillips being available. Is there someone like that at the wide receiver spot that you think is maybe out there that we're not talking about?
Well, the Jets move silently, and I think that's a testament to what Mougie has done, where there's no real leaks anymore at this point. They're trying to do things the right way, and they're trying to improve the roster any way they can. I wrote an article about this week, and I continue to say this, though. Everyone's talking about the wide receiver position and potentially adding it. I don't think it's the right move at this point for what they're trying to build on this team. You look at the numbers, just from a pure number standpoint. We broke it down in this article. About 420 average targets if Justin Fields plays a full season. They're going to throw the ball 420 times on average for the full year. Garrett Wilson's going to record about 150 of those targets. You think Breece Hall is going to get close to 80 to 90 targets. That's already over 200 targets. There's not enough left over for a quality number 2 receiver. Number 1, for a free agent to want to come here. That's number 1. But number 2, for a trade market, do you really want to trade assets for a player that's only going to get around 60, maybe 70 targets for a full season? That's barely enough to get 50 catches. At this rate, the way that I look at it, I don't see the value from a pure numbers standpoint. I don't see the value in the Jets actually trying to make a move for a second wide receiver at this point. They don't have the quarterback for it.
I'm just seeing the trade details right now of the Brian Robinson deal. So the Commanders traded their running back Brian Robinson to the 49ers, and it's a 6-rounder that is going back to Washington for trading a guy who's been their starting running back. So to all those saying trade Breece Hall, you're not going to get a ton for Breece Hall if Brian Robinson just went for a 6th. Breece, at best, maybe you're getting a 4th or a 5th, and at that point, no thank you. But I think that talk with Breece has died down. But
they've talked about it all the time. Aaron Glenn has mentioned it at least 5 times in the last 2 months.
I just wanted to mention that because, it's once again, people saying trade Breece, get a second. You're not going to get a second. You get maybe a 4th or a 5th for Breece. And Brian Robinson just went for a 6th.
If that. And by the way, Breece Hall is in the same boat as Brian Robinson. They're both free agents after this year. You're not getting, I don't even think you're getting a 4th round for these guys. Most people, the way that I look at it from some fans, they look at a player having a down year and they say, well, get rid of him. Just trade it. Get him off my team. And then you say, okay, well, what are you going to get for a player off a down year? Oh, definitely a 3rd, definitely a 2nd, definitely a 4th, a high draft pick. That's not how this works. If you're coming off a down year, the assets are not going to be there for you to be able to acquire anybody or get quality assets back. Breece Hall is going to be a member on this Jets team to start the season. Now, and as I've said, could that change if the team is 1-6, 2-7 by the trade deadline? That may change the conversation because the Jets may try and get rid of all assets that are going to essentially hit free agency anyway after this year. But the fact of the matter is, you look at the Brian Robinson deal, you look at Breece Hall, both players were starting running backs last year for their team. It makes no sense. It never made sense for the Jets to trade Breece Hall. They're not going to at this point because Aaron Glenn has said it 15,000 times over the last 2 months.
Aaron Glenn has said a lot of things, Nick, including this.
You get the fuck out.
That is Aaron Glenn to all the people saying trade Breece Hall when his value is at its lowest. Britt writes in, can I be in the raffle? You can, Britt. The way to be in the raffle is to gift 1 channel membership. You could do so for just $5 if you're on a desktop. If you're not, we allow people on their phone to be able to send in a super chat of $10 or more, and you'll get 2 raffle tickets. The reason for that is the more people that are channel members, the more the community benefits. Everyone gets a free super chat a month when you're a channel member. You get the loyalty badge next to your name. It allows us to add more channel emojis for our regular callers, regular Asmaniacs. So that is why we encourage people to send in channel memberships if they're trying to enter our raffle, which today features a signed Wayne Corbett jersey at the end of the stream. Nick, what did you make of the discourse this week from Glenn when a reporter asked him about, it's a passing league now, and Glenn referenced your team, referenced the Eagles being 29th in passing, and the Jets, of course, we know what their style, their identity is going to be, smash mouth football. What were your thoughts on that exchange with Glenn and reporters?
He's absolutely right. First off, and again, this is a multifaceted answer, multifaceted problem as well. If you do not, and I believe I heard the story where Howie Roseman has it on his whiteboard, and essentially says along the lines of, you better have a top 5 quarterback or a top 5 team around your quarterback. If you don't have either, you're not going to be in championship contention. Plain and simple. For teams like the Kansas City Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens, they have elite quarterbacks. So they're able to have pass-first offenses that essentially just say, we're going to trust our guy to make the throw, make the read, and we're going to win a lot of games every single year. But then there are those other teams that look and say, teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers, teams like the Baltimore Ravens, the Bills, they're all built to stop top quarterbacks. They're not built to handle physicality. A lot of teams nowadays, they look at the linebacker position, they look at defensive linemen, and they look for the guys that are a little bit shorter, a little bit thinner, but more athletic. They look for that athleticism. Well, when you have all that athleticism, if you have a good offensive line, you can get to the second level and maul your opponent. The Kansas City Chiefs have built their defense around athletic ability throughout their defensive line, their linebacking core, and in their secondary. And we saw in the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles essentially said, yeah, we know you're athletic, but we're just going to beat the crap out of you anyway with our front seven on defense and with our front five along the offensive line. And that model is really what the Jets have tried to build from the very beginning when Aaron Glenn got here. He knew he was not going to have a top 5 quarterback on this team. So instead of trying to make Justin Fields into what he isn't, go dive first into it and say, we're going to expand on what he does well. We're going to run the ball effectively, and we're going to be a matchup nightmare for the Buffalo Bills, for the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Steelers, all those top contending teams in the AFC that are built to stop each other, but not built to stop the old 70s style of football. This sort of renaissance you are seeing where teams are going run first because defenses aren't built and prepared for it anymore, you're going to see it a lot more. Philadelphia cracked the code on it last year. The Jets are very, very early in the process of making sure they're built that way as well. And I really believe that you are going to see the fruits of that labor come to fruition. The Jets being a run-first team is really going to help them out this year because no one in the AFC is built to stop that kind of offense. That's just a matter of fact right now.
Do you think Justin Fields can be Walmart Jalen Hurts or Walmart Lamar Jackson? Not what they currently are. They basically have improved, especially Lamar. They're refined passers. But like, what version of what we've seen for those quarterbacks at various points in their career do you think maybe best case Justin Fields can be?
Yeah, and I've said it also before. It's 2021 Jalen Hurts and 2018 Lamar Jackson, where the offenses essentially had to be dummied down to allow those players to perform admirably in a starting role. Lamar Jackson lost, 1-2 starts his rookie year. He played half the season, led Baltimore to a division title. He completed less than 60% of his passes, and he was still able to win because Baltimore said, we're not going to be average with Joe Flacco. We'd rather just run first and win games based on that, and no one in the NFL was ready for it. Same thing with Philadelphia. They started 2-5. They didn't really look that good. Jalen Hurts didn't look that good. They transitioned more to a run-first offense. Hurts started playing a lot better. The team started playing better, and they actually got to the playoffs a year after winning 4 games. So this model consistently can work. A deficient passer in Justin Fields can get to the playoffs. The rest of the team, though, has to play at an elite level, has to play at an above-average level, and that's the question that we have to ask ourselves going into this season.
JD says Walmart has bad shrimp. Fields will be better than Walmart. Costco, at least.
I'm not going to compare any major shopping store, if you will, in that regard. But again, the Jets can win with Justin Fields. They can win with Justin Fields playing the way he always has. But they better make sure that the offensive line is elite. They better make sure that the defense is top 5. If they get both, they will win 8 to 9 games this year without really having to worry about if the quarterback can throw the football consistently.
I feel really good about the defense. I do. I think getting Harrison Phillips was a huge, huge addition. It was a glaring weakness. Now I think it's at least competent with Quinnen and Phillips there. Jermaine, McDonald. I like the fact that you have Sauce and Stevens having really good camps. I love that Michael Carter's healthy. Look, injuries happen. We get that. But I think at least on paper, the Jets defense, they look like a top 10, if not better unit to me.
Well, and I think the only question mark that I would have is that edge rusher because we just don't know what Jermaine Johnson's going to be like this year. And I don't think
damn good the other day, apparently, at practice.
He was great. But I will say it's not fair to essentially expect him to walk in and have 4 sacks at the beginning of the year. I think if you're looking, he gets 5.5 to 6, 7 sacks, and most of them come later in the season. That is a win for the New York Jets moving forward. You don't know what you're going to get out of a player coming off an Achilles injury like this. It took Rodgers half the year to look competent. It took a lot of players. It took Breece Hall half the year to look competent the year after he tore his ACL. That's just what happens when you have lower leg surgeries like this. So I think people just need to be patient with him. And that's really the only question mark. The defensive line, I think, against the run is going to be a lot better, purely based on schematics. The secondary is still going to be really good. The linebackers are great. And Steve Wilks bringing in this system of his is only going to help the team even more than they already were over the last couple of years.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Nick Faria is with us here. Weekly spot. Julian writes in, let's please pump the brakes on the Brees Hall trade rumors. Let's wait till the bye week before we have our annual bonfire sale. Have faith, people. Well, it's funny. The rumors are, once again, coming from no one credible. They're not actual real rumors. It's people just throwing it out there. And anytime Glenn has been asked about it, he has shut it down each and every time. So it's really not rumors. It's just, to me, silly Jet fans who are like, Braylon Allen's the man. Yeah, we have him. We have Isaiah Davis. We have Donovan Edwards. We don't need Brees. And it's like, what? You don't need Brees? The guy who 2 years ago was number 2 in the NFL at his position in yards from scrimmage behind only CMC. You don't need a guy that a year ago in fantasy football drafts was going in the top 3. Like, that guy is still there. He's still super talented. And Nick, you could speak to it being at practice all summer. He's going to be a focal point of their passing attack.
He's probably going to be their number 2 receiver. He's probably going to have the second most targets on this team this year. And it's really not that much of an outlandish take to think about because he's always been that way. He's been a great receiving back. You want him to be able to get as many touches as possible in the game. And when you have Braylon Allen, it allows this offense to be a little bit more multiple, be a little more creative with what they do on the field. So the way that I look at it, it's one of those things where people want to try and look for the next shiny toy. And it happens with every fan base. Brees Hall had a down year, so now the toy isn't good anymore, so throw him away, get someone else that's shiny, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, whoever it ends up being. But Brees Hall can still be a good running back. He is only 24 years old. There's not a lot of tread on the tires, only like 600 or so touches so far, so there's clearly more for him to play on. It's just a matter of making sure that these guys, all 3 of them, can play at a high level consistently for a full 17-game season. I think they can. They really haven't shown anything otherwise to prove that they cannot at this point.
Nick, we must address the big elephant in the room. Dave Brigger writes in that your office looks like essentially a prison cell. Your thoughts?
No comment. I've got no comment on this. It's a nice little office right in front of the newsroom.
How nice is it?
Yeah, it's a nice little box. That's all it is. It's small. It's compact. It allows me to work. I've got good internet, so all is well.
Gator claims that you haven't touched your cork board in about 3 weeks.
Man, it's been a month. Can I at least get settled into what I need to do? Good God, guys.
Now, can I send you a Jake Asman show, like pennant? Can I send you like something for the office there? Because it does look kind of bland.
Here's the other thing. So obviously a lot of empty walls and whatnot. This camera's a little bit lowered on me, so it looks even worse. Send a pennant over. I'm going to have a bunch of different stuff on so we can all talk about it.
I'm going to send you a pennant, but if I send you one, spend hard-earned money that the Asmaniacs who pay my bills support me with, it has to go there during your appearances. That's the rule, all right?
Gotta go right here on my right.
You know what? You got yourself a deal. I will send you a pennant after today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. Nick Faria is with us here. What else from this game are you looking at, Nick? Is there any other storyline besides what you're going to eat in the press box tonight that is intriguing you?
So how about Kyle McCord? First off, I think Philadelphia is going to cut both of these players for QB3. They've got Tanner McKee. They're not really gonna touch anything along those lines. Kyle McCord was a late round pick for Philadelphia. They made a bunch of picks this year, so I could see them cutting him. Maybe McCord becomes the 3rd quarterback. Maybe it's DTR. We're going to find out exactly who's going to hit the open market for Philadelphia. But for the Jets side, the defensive line is a huge question mark, at least at this point, because what's going to happen with Leonard Taylor today? The fact that he came out and talked about essentially saying it's all in God's hands now. Does that mean he's going to play today? If so, that's not really a good look for a player that is supposed to be safe, according to the fan base. So it's a big question mark to have in that regard. The wide receiver position, of course, is always a big question as well. But how about the offensive line? You're going to see a lot of backups today, obviously most likely all of the backups to this point. And we have loved, we've talked about this before, we have loved what we've seen from the starting offensive line through the last month. The depth is going to be a big question, though. If one of these guys go down, what's going to end up happening? Who's going to end up playing in certain spots? We kind of got an inkling of that with Joe Tippett moving to guard when John Simpson got hurt, but will that be the case moving forward? I am very intrigued to see how these backups look. Carter Warren, Max Mitchell, Okorafor, these guys that are going to potentially have playing time this year if one of these players goes down.
The New York Jets And the Philadelphia Eagles' latest line at FanDuel, our sponsor, of course, for all betting lines throughout the Jet season on the Jake Asman Show. The Jets, it was 2. Now it's down to 1.5. So the Jets are a 1.5-point favorite tonight, Nick. If you're crazy enough to wager on a little preseason Jets-Eagles action, who you betting on?
Oh, man. I got betting on preseason. Oh, man. Give me the Jets. Give me the Jets. I think their depth's a little bit better, especially with all the free agent losses that Philadelphia had. I like the Jets rookie class. I think they're going to be fun. I don't think Philly's top 2 rookies are going to play tonight, so that'll help as well. And yeah, give me the Jets by 3.5.
Jets, love it. All right, I like hearing that. By the way, Arian Smith, maybe he can make a couple more big-time plays tonight. He's another name I want to mention with you. And then we talked about Membu and Mason Taylor, the uncertainty whether they're going to play. If they do play, don't leave them out there that long, right?
It's going to be a series or 2 at most. At most, it's a series or 2.
I mean, we said starters are not going to play, but obviously Taylor and Membu are rookies, but they don't need to be out there that long. That'd be my big thing for Glenn tonight. 1 or 2 series at the most, and let's make sure they're in bubble wrap ready for week 1.
Yeah, exactly. And the third preseason game has always been about the roster players, the players on the roster bubble that are probably going to get cut, trying to prove themselves to other teams around the league that are going to be using this week to scout a lot of players that could be picked up on the waiver line.
All right, Nick, I know you got to run, so I will let you step out of here. Enjoy the press box tonight. Enjoy Jets Eagles. And be on the lookout for a Jake Asman Show pennant so we could decorate your office properly, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria with us there in his weekly spot on the show. I am live in Las Vegas here. Ballroom filling up with fans in town for contest weekend. We're going to be joined by Mike Palm from Circa coming up, so stick around for that. Phone lines are open. If you want in on the conversation, make sure that you click the like button. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button that is located right over there. Our goal is to get to first 42,000 subscribers. Then, hopefully by the end of the Jets season, if the Jets aren't awful, 50K is in our grasp. That's the goal. It's a lofty goal, just like the Jets maybe having a winning year for the first time in a decade. But that is the goal, ladies and gentlemen. Reminder, we are giving away a signed Wayne Cremette jersey at the end of the show. I'm going to gift a membership shortly, so if you want one, here's what you need to do. Hit the like button. That's the thumbs up button. You got to be a subscriber and have on the settings that you want to be eligible to receive a gifted membership. If you do that, you'll have a chance to get one, and I will put you in the raffle if you are the recipient of the membership that I gift. With that said, I want to get to some of your calls right now on our Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline. And first up today is Beast.
Give me a minute. I just got done cleaning.
Hey,
Tonight.
put a light on. It's too dark.
I just got done cleaning them up.
Clean.
Tonight, Jermaine Johnson will not play because he just got off the PUP list. That's not going to happen. He has to stay healthy and stay fresh. We're going to send both our second and third strings out. We're going to let these boys play, and I think we're going to keep four running backs. Nobody gives a shit.
Beast, how did you clean? How did you clean in the dark? I don't think you were able to see anything. It's too dark in there.
1 will go down to the practice squad. 3 will stay. We're also going to have 4 wide receivers. We're also going to keep the thick kicker. We're also going to keep Nicky Folk.
I don't think they're going to keep 2 kickers.
We have to keep 2 kickers. That's what we used to do in the 90s. We had
No.
We had John Hall.
Well, one was a punter, one was a kicker.
Well, John Hall was the kicker. Tom Tupa was the punter, and he was the best.
But the thicker kicker is only a kicker.
Yeah, but he's young. He's still learning. That's maybe
the practice squad.
Yeah, that'll go to the practice squad. Also, defense will dominate tonight.
Hey, I'm pooping right now, says Jason. You are a bum.
I don't care. I do not care. I do give a shit. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, Brian says that you were born in the darkness.
It is time to talk serious. Time to shut up.
Were you born in the darkness?
I don't barely want to hear that crap. We're here to talk business. Tonight we're gonna finish off the Eagles, and then think 2 weeks from now when we go.
Says that you're clueless.
I don't really give a shit.
No.
Do I give a shit? No, I don't give a shit right now.
Sounds like you care.
Let's talk business. Nobody gives a shit. Thank you very much indeed. Now, tonight we're going to finish off the Eagles. Then we're going to take 2 weeks off. Then when we come back, September 7th, we're going to stick it to the media. We're going to tell them right to their face, we're not a laughing stock anymore. We got the best man to do the job, and we're going to shove our fist right down every stinking one's throat and tell them, we're here, we're not playing games anymore. We've been the laughing stock since 2011. Playtime's over. Time to man up. Either shut up or get out. And remember these words. Hello, you play to win the game.
Hello, you play to win the game.
I got to be honest. That was actually a great call by Beast. I love the passion. I love it. The only thing he got wrong is the 2 kicker situation. But hey, baby steps with Beast. Beast, great take. Love it. Speaking of Beast, the guy on the line right now is wearing a limited edition, improper spelling, Beast Breaker t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
I actually wanted to hear a little bit more about what Beast wanted to do if we got across the 50, whether he wanted to go to like a 3-kicker formation. Go back. That's what we used to do back in the 80s. It was very unpredictable.
I'll tell you what. I thought that he had some salient points there.
Yes. Do we know, is there a 5th quarterback in camp at all? I don't think so, right?
No, the only quarterbacks that are in camp are the 4, Fields, Tyrod, Brady Cook, and Adrian Martinez.
So we're basically looking at Martinez and Cook all night tonight. And, since Glenn has everything shrouded in secrecy, we don't really know who's going to be playing with, say, the 2s, right?
We don't. Like Mason Taylor could be out there, but we know he's a starter. But is he just out there because he's a rookie? They want him to get reps. That's why it's like, if he's out there, I only need to see a series or 2 at the most from him or from Membu especially.
Right. I mean, the first team will probably consist of people like Myers and Membu to start maybe tonight, right? And Taylor. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how they kind of, divvy up the responsibilities and see what Glenn thinks about those quarterbacks that are left for QB3, the guy that might come up off the practice squad if we need him. Has anyone really thought about the scenario where Fields plays just well enough where we're kind of out of striking range for a quarterback next year, and maybe the teams that are in the slots don't want to come off their spot because they're interested in quarterbacks, and we're kind of stuck with him next year? Like, I think that's a real possibility with this team. There's a lot of talent on this team on the offensive line, certainly on the defense, certainly Quinnen and in the secondary. We could be good enough where we might be finishing the middle, draft in the middle. And in that case, maybe we're taking a defensive lineman who gets pushed down, or filling other needs like wide receiver in the draft next year. And I just wanted to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I think you could be onto something there. Do you have someone in mind, like a strategy that you think they would look for if they play that out?
Well, I was looking at the Athletic, and they had, their I don't know, was it top 50 or top 100 prospects for next year, and their top guy is a defensive tackle out of Clemson. I don't know if he's more of the heavier type, like the one technique that we might be looking for the future, but there were a couple of edges. There was a couple of other additional defensive tackles in the top 20. And then, a whole slew of quarterbacks. You would think we're probably going to look to burn through some draft assets to get up if we can. But I just want people who are, kind of anti-Fields to kind of warm to the possibility that we might not be able to get up to get a quarterback next year. It's entirely possible, because I get the impression from Glenn that he plays to win, and there's just enough talent on this team for us to be mediocre.
Yeah, look, it could come down to how many first-round quarterbacks do they have on their board, right? Do they trade up? What is the price to trade up? There's so many external factors no one has the answer to in August. I mean, the reality is if they're not good, if they're picking in the top 10, I would say there's like a 95% chance they're going quarterback. But if they're picking in the late teens, let's say, and they had this 8-win season, it does complicate things. But I still think, just like we saw the Giants move back up to get Dart, we could see something similar with the Jets.
Right. I mean, and we know that, when you see the college football season, that things change so radically. I think right now we have a sense that there might be about 4 or so quarterbacks that are kind of first round worthy at least. But again, that is so subject to change. And I think this might be the pessimistic Jet fan in me, always thinking about draft before we actually
right
tee up and kick the ball off. So I just wanted to throw that out there and just see what the people were thinking about how we're gonna build the team when they go forward. I appreciate your time, Jake.
Kyle, always a great call from you. Really appreciate it. Love the shirt as well. Kyle, one of the people that bought a limited edition Beastbreaker G5 inspired t-shirt, which is just hilarious with the wrong spelling. We gave everyone who did that last week on the show an extra 5 entries in our weekly raffle, which is so funny looking back on it. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Circa Las Vegas. Things are happening here. I'll even show you guys. I could move the camera a little bit here and give you guys a view of the ballroom. Not the greatest angle here because I have all the wires set up, but there's a bar over there. I might send my brother to get us some drinks, even though in Vegas right now it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. So keep that in mind. Let's see. Position the camera a little bit more to the right, Zach. There you go. Right there's fine. Let the focus happen. Get the zoom back going. Hold on. Now we're out of focus. I shouldn't have done that, but I wanted to give you guys a little behind the scenes here. Hopefully the camera will refocus shortly. In the meantime, there we go. Let's get to a 5 spot of gifted memberships from Paul Taxter. Paul, my man, you're on the raffle.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
We are, in fact, gifting 5, or we are, in fact, I can't speak. We are, in fact, giving away a signed Wayne Chrebet jersey at the end of the show. How about that? Find me the show that's giving away the amount of signed stuff we do at the end of shows, or jerseys, or weekly prizes, and that's a testament to this community that makes it all possible. Omar says, let's go Jets. Omar, amen. Been a channel member for 22 months, and Omar gifted a membership as well. He is in the Asmaniac raffle with this for 1. All right, let's get to more of your calls right now on our Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline. How we feeling about tonight's game? Cheeseman writes in, how did the 150 on Black go? We haven't done it yet. We're going to do it today. So after the show yesterday, we went out to the pool, watched a little Yankee Red Sox, and then we had a big Circa kickoff party last night with everyone in town for contest weekend. So we haven't hit the tables yet since the first night. That will be a activity today. So we got the 150 that was sent in by listener Crossdrag. He said, put it on Black for me. So we're going to hit the roulette table. And we're going to throw it all on Black. And if we win, great. If we lose, well, it's not our money. That's how you got to look at it. Austrian Jet fan in the Asmaniac raffle for 5.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's get to more of your calls right now. We got a couple of legends that are on the line. We start with one of the all-time greats. Sing along, everyone.
He thinks that Charles and Bobby need to get a job. This cowboy hates to see Asmaniacs complain. What he call him, one-punch breaker. You need to get a job. What he call him, one-punch breaker. The beast is on his ass. Call him one-punch breaker. Has anyone seen Bean Mac and call him one-punch breaker? He will only need one.
Okay, good morning, Jake. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing well. How do you like Vegas out there? It's nice and hot. I bet it's 110 yet.
Yeah, it is. I've been to Vegas a bunch in my life, and this might be the hottest it's ever been since I've been here. Luckily, though, I barely had to be outside, and when I've been outside, I've been in the pool. So it's manageable when you're in a spot with amazing air conditioning like Circa has.
Well, I was out in Vegas for years. I used to love to go to the hot springs out by past Hoover Dam, past there. We used to go for a hike. It's beautiful to go up in the mountains up there.
Yeah,
you know, I was never much for the Strip or Fremont Street or that type of stuff. My wife she played the slots, but that's about it, you know. But yeah, it's changed a lot since the years I was going out there. Used to go out there used to get those nice buffets, $4.99 steak and egg breakfast. Those days are good.
Yeah, I mean, just to breathe anywhere on the strip, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. It feels like.
But yeah, the game tonight, it's just hopefully nobody gets hurt, but nobody's playing, right? Who are they playing? The second stringers, third stringers?
I think for the most part, plus some of the rookies, like Arian Smith's a second stringer, right? But he's going to have a role, so hopefully he's healthy. Same with if they play Membu and Taylor, like the Giants did play Abdul Carter last night, for example. You just hope there's no injuries. That's the biggest thing you want to see.
Well, the Eagles aren't playing anybody, aren't they? It's pretty much just like a practice for them because
they never play anyone.
No. It's but anyway, I think we got to start taking it easy on Beast. Some of this Harry Potter stuff. It's one thing when you guys give it to him, when you and Gator, but some of these guys that never showed their face, or they have a handle but no name. I mean, they rag on Beast to no end, but they never show their face against him, and they drive him to the wall. I mean, the guy, how much is the guy going to take? I mean, really? I mean, it's time to lighten up on the guy a little bit. When he first came in, we gave him a hard time, okay? But now I think it's time to lighten up on him with this stuff. I know he's a big draw for your show, but I mean, some of the times I feel bad for the poor guy. That people just make fun of him left and right. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right.
I love it, Dave. That's why you're.
Well, no, but you know what I don't appreciate. You know what I don't appreciate? These guys that have a handle. I put my name out there. That's who I am. But there's people in this chat. They put their handle in there. And there's a guy that I was just kidding around with Nick before, and this guy makes a comment, and he says, "Oh, I make comments, but I don't stand behind him." Well, I was just joking with Nick. We know he's a standard guy. So if you got anything to say, put your name in it and show your face, like Bobby would say. I mean, come on. But it's it's this season now, so we got to get serious. I'm just hoping we have to be optimistic. This morning, Paul had a good show. He had a good lineup on there, so we were all putting our comments in. We had Mr. Clifton was on, Jets Tattoo, Neil was on. Everybody's got to be optimistic. Get on board. But if you got something to say, put your name to your face. That's all I got to say.
I love
Jake. Jake, have a good time out there, and just take it easy. Vegas is very alluring, very alluring.
Ladies and gentlemen, wise words from the great Dave Brigga.
He thinks that Gary needs more shots upside his head. This cowboy hates when you don't believe in achievement. Well, they call him One Punch Brigga. The moon landing was free. They call him One Punch Brigga. His claim is not true. They call him One Punch Brigga. Hated jokes is like desire. One Punch Brigga. Doesn't know they need one. Yeah.
That's why he's one of the greats. How about that from Dave Brigga? Love that. Love that. Gator writes in, Beast is a major part of this community. We're lucky to have him. That atomic clock says, solid point by Brigga. Mike D's Nut says, good stuff, Dave. MG, good man, Dave. Calzone says, well, Beast doesn't have to call in. It's on him as well. Jets Johnny says, I completely disagree with Dave. Slight jab. Love Dave defending Beast. What a guy. True words. So overall, plenty of people agreeing with Mr. Brigga, but some disagreeing with the great One Punch Brigga. Colin Wolford, shout out to you, Colin. Appreciate you entering our raffle for 5. He gifted 5 channel memberships. Oh, yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Man, what a community. Wayne Corbett signed jersey is our giveaway at the end of the show. How about that? How about that? Okay. Let's get to more of your calls right now. Philly Noodles is up next. Hey, Philly.
What up, man? What's going on?
I'm living the dream. Philly, how are you?
Yes, sir. How's Vegas treating you? Thank you. Yes, sir. How's Vegas treating you?
Vegas has been good.
Pretty good. Yeah, dude. Brigga, Brigga's a classic, bro. defending Beast's honor. Remember when it was just him attacking Beast?
Well, I mean, if you go back in time, I mean, and by the way, shout out to Gator who posted it in our Discord, but he did a history of Beastbreaker episode 1 that came out yesterday. I mean, if you go back in time, you had Beast versus Dave Brigga as one of the big time battles in this show's history. And if you think about it, they met in Asmaniac Madness, and that's where the One Punch Brigga origin really kind of started when he knocked out Beast in the first round.
Right. But you know what? Right there, I think they shared camaraderie as battle warriors at that moment in time. That's why he's standing up for him. Brigga, man, when he comes out there and when he gets to that second level with his voice, you know it's real. You know where he's like, "Yo, bro, show your face, make your name, make your handle real." But yeah, I'm actually.
Who cares?
I'm actually interested to see what happens with the wide receivers room finally. I feel like they should probably keep Skinner if they're going to. I think Corley's done. I think it's over. There's going to be no trade out of him, so it's probably just going to be a cut or a practice. I doubt practice squad. It might just be a cut because at this point, with injuries alone happening to defensive players and our defense is so stout, I'd rather see them keep offensive linemen and defensive players on the practice squad heavy versus wide receivers and running backs. You can just pick those up off waivers. They're like they're like falling right off the tree. You know what I mean? And then center wise, I wonder. I hope that Tippmann and Myers thing isn't real. Yeah, Tippmann should be the center. Period. End of story. Coming out of here, no matter what. I'm interested if Myers gets any role besides just a backup. But yeah, see what happens tonight.
Well, I think Myers is in line to play if there's an injury to the guards because then it's like Tippmann over. I like having Myers for depth purposes. I guess he'd be the starting center, I'd imagine tonight, and then it will officially confirm what we already know.
Yeah,
Tippmann will be the center for week 1.
If Tippmann was to roll out of there, I don't think it's gonna happen. There's no way. They just did that piece of him on New York Jets on YouTube. I watched that. It was pretty cool. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way in hell that he's not the starter. But Myers is a great depth piece. Yeah, I'm just interested to see what happens. I mean, there's no way. I think people with Pritchett fell in love with Pritchett over the summer. That's not happening. I'm sorry. I'd rather take Skinner. At least somebody 6'5" like that. You know what I mean? Just in case we're in a red zone and tight end's banged up and you got to put somebody in just for the heck of it. You need a tall body to catch a pass or something. But yeah, we'll see what happens tonight.
Are you going to be locked into every snap, Philly Noodles? Is this life or death for you? I mean, the stress levels reaching new heights for you?
No, I mean, well,
this
for anybody,
the Jets have a winning preseason record. Lots on the line.
I can't stand it. Well, look at the Giants. So I listen. Okay, first off, my fiance is a Jets fan because of me. Other than that, the entire family are Giants fans. Okay, her family. So her brother from jail tells his mother to tell me, "Hey, Phil, how do you like that win?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me, bro? Like, don't. When I see you when you come out, we're gonna have some words, bro. You know what I mean? Like, dude." I was like, bro, just because you champion and win the preseason, the Jets do it every season. We do it, and then we're terrible during the regular season. So I'd rather us be not sure or mediocre at this point. Betting odds might be in our favor if we actually don't kill the preseason. So I'll take it for what it is.
I'll tell you what. Ultimately, the expectations for the Jets from most people are very low. And that, I think, is a good thing given what happened the last couple of years. It doesn't guarantee anything. The Jets have had low expectations in other years, and they have been, guess what, bad. So sometimes the expectations are reality. But if the Jets are going to exceed expectations, so much of it is about things that we don't know for sure. We think the coaching is going to be good. We think it's going to be a lot better. We think that Engstrand is a legit OC. We think the O-line on paper is going to be pretty good, but it's a lot of projecting to this point. But I do think there's a lot more talent than what the 5.5 win total suggests. I do think this team can win 7 games, 8 games, and it wouldn't be like stunning. I'd be surprised if they won 9 or 10 personally, but it's not impossible.
Yeah. And to
I'd be surprised.
And to Faria's credit earlier, that call, sometimes with his takes are a bit much with Jermaine Johnson, right? But then he comes back with that receiver bit saying that percentage of passes, there's not enough to go around to go and spend now up. But if we are in the hunt, I think then it becomes a reality where, okay, who's having an issue somewhere? Let's go see what receiver is available. But yeah, other than that, yeah, let's go Jets. You know what I mean? Let's see what we do tonight.
You know what? That's a great take, Philly. Let's go Jets. Well done. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Let's go Jets. Love that. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. I see there were some people in the chat talking about Jackson Dart. Oh, the Jets screwed up not taking him. Can we relax? I'm not saying he won't be good, but if the Jets didn't believe in Dart, you don't force it. They were all in on Fields for the year. I think they evaluated the quarterbacks, and they determined Fields was their best chance for 1 year with upside, and it's a much better quarterback class next year, and they'll get their guy then if it doesn't work out. I don't think the Jets could have taken Jackson Dart at 7. I think it's such revisionist history if we're saying that, and we shouldn't even be saying that yet because we're talking about saying that after, 3 preseason games? Give me a break. Go look at Zach Wilson's numbers in the preseason his rookie year. Come back to me. Am I going to pretend like Dart hasn't been impressive? Of course not. He's been good. But that doesn't mean he's going to be a great quarterback yet. We have no idea. We have no idea. None. So everyone's got to relax a little bit. All right, I know it's easier said than done, but please relax. All right, I have open phone lines here. I want to keep the show rolling, so please call in if you have a Jet point you want to make. What are you personally watching tonight? That's the big question. I want to shout out my sponsor, Beats Custom Apparel. This is our guy, Kyle, who's always in the chat. Beats Custom Apparel. They hooked me up with not one but 2 unbelievable Jet Air Jordans that I've been rocking. I wore these at the watch party on Saturday, and I'm wearing the ones on the screen, the white Air Jordans right now, the Jordan 1s. In fact, I'll prove it that I'm wearing them right now. I got my kicks on right here. I'm going to give you guys a little tutorial, a little feet modeling here. All right? So shout out to Beats Custom Apparel. Love these things. I've been complimented by so many people the last couple of days that I've been rocking these out here ahead of the Jet season. Every time I come out the Circa for this weekend, it's like the unofficial start of football season for me. Talking betting, talking about you got all the lines on the board behind me. Like you guys can see it up here. I'm going to move the camera slightly. You'll see it right. This was another poor decision. No, you're good, man. Thank you, man. I'm just showing off the board. Zach, it'd be nice if you can get off your ass and maybe help me.
Sorry.
What a shit producer this guy is.
Oh, come on.
Hold on. Watch out with the camera.
Yep.
All right. Now show people the board. There we go. We got the odds. Give people, hold on. Watch out. Bring it back. This was a terrible idea. You're not experienced. Put it down. Put it down. Make sure all the wires aren't all screwed up. All right. This started with me trying to show off my feet, but you were just sitting there doing nothing. Here we go. All right. We're back. So anyway, I got distracted, but I do want to shout out my custom Jets kicks from Beats Custom Apparel. Go to their website right now, people. BeatsCustoms.com. Kyle also offered me a promo code to share with everyone. If you use promo code JETS1, that's the number 1, it's 10% off all items. All that info that you need is in the description for the video. So check it out. And once again, shout out to Beats Customs for the awesome look. Let's see. Big Country says, holy crap, Jake, get some sun on those legs. Looks like string cheese. LOL, 6 shoes. You do not want to see my legs getting burned to a crisp, Big Country. See, I don't tan, I burn. So that's not what it's going to do. Danger Zone says, look at that. Look at those calves. Oh, yeah. Dylan Terriman says, oh, Jake with the leg up. That's right. I gave you guys quite the show. I'm a model in my spare time. Gator says all 3 quarterbacks looked great last night. Maybe the Pats suck balls. Well, they didn't play any of their starters, though, right? And, honestly, I bet the Giants last night. You guys are going to be like, really? Yeah, I bet the Giants. I'll tell you why. In the preseason, when they're playing other teams' backups, look who the Giants have a quarterback, right? They played Russ. Last night he didn't play, but they started Dart, who's a rookie, and rookies at that position, if they're any good, they should look good. It's designed for them to look good. It's only a concern if a rookie quarterback looks terrible in the preseason. Not that they look good. Example being Zach Wilson looked really good as a rookie. And the other thing I'd bring up too, after Jackson Dart, you're bringing in Jameis Winston, who's super talented, has been the first pick in the draft, has won games before. in the NFL. And then after Winston, you're bringing in Tommy DeVito, who's won games in the league before. He's not great. He's a backup, but he's a quarterback in the NFL, right? Like, he's not Christian Hackenberg, who's not going to ever play it down in the NFL. He's not Bryce Petty. Like, DeVito is probably a backup for someone this year if the Giants release him. Maybe the Jets. I could see the Jets claiming him. I wouldn't mind that. I think DeVito could be better than Adrian Martinez or Brady Cook if Tyrod Taylor's not ready, right? Like, so I think the Giants are actually a great preseason bet because look who they're playing at quarterback against third, fourth stringer guys. So I think that has a lot to do with the Gator. My mom says Zach doing his best. Be nice. He's trying. He's doing his thing. PBM says, can't wait to get my Beats Customs. Cheeseman says, Jake showing off some ankle. Hey now. Cheeseman, sorry, Miss Asman. I was only kidding. Now, Zach's doing a great job. Don't worry. Let's see. Gator says DeVito is Mike White light. Yeah, you know what? Mike White's a backup in this league. Now, probably takes the right system for Mike White, but he's a legit backup, I think, in this league. I do believe that. Let's see here. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Janice says, pack the sunscreen for Tampa, Jake. You're going to need it. Oh, yeah. Tampa's going to be a hot one. Nothing I haven't experienced before, though, Janice. Living in Texas, being in Vegas. We've had a hot summer in New York some weeks. Humble Beast says those are Air Force Ones. No, they're not. They're Air Jordans.
Jordan 1s.
They're Jordan 1s, as my brother would say, off camera. See? Jordans. Even took them off for you. Beats Customs, people. The best. All right, let's get back to your remaining calls here. We do have a raffle at the end of the show. I'm actually surprised. I think it's because I'm doing the show and it's 10:30, but on the East Coast, it's kind of right in the middle of the day right now. It's 1:27. So we don't have as many gifted memberships as I would have thought for a signed Corbett jersey. I'm going to gift the membership right now, though. I said I would do it earlier. So I'm going to gift one right now to one lucky listener, and we will put you in the Asmaniac raffle for your chance to win a signed Mr. Third Down Wayne Corbett jersey at the end of today's show. Ladies and gentlemen, a membership from yours truly has officially been gifted, and it went to listener regardless who enters the Asmaniac raffle for one. Oh, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's get back to your calls before we get to our raffle. Let's say hi to Papa Jet, who's next on the show today. What's up, Papa?
Hey, Jake. How you doing?
Papa, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good. I agree with you on the betting in the preseason. You got to look at the quarterback room. Even if you had a guy that's hasn't started, but he's been a backup for 6-7 years. He's been through 6-7 training camps. He's got experience, you know. So when I used to bet football, that's in preseason, that's what I looked at was the quarterback room. But I agree with you and Nick on the like the O-line. We got a good O-line. Hopefully the defense does good. I'm with you. I think they're going to have a good year. So it gives us a chance. But I think the best for us, Jake, it's smart football, and we're going to win boring football. You know what and what I mean by that is, you know, if you gain 3.5 yards per play, it might not be much, but you times that by 3, it's a first down, you know? And that's the way I'm looking at this year. Just win some boring football, just some ball control and smart football too. The penalties got to stop. You know, we can't have penalties like we did last year, and obviously turnovers. And I think if we do that, I think we got a shot. I don't care how they win. It's just been too long. Let's just do some winning here, you know?
Yeah, run the hell out of the ball. If you got to win a couple ugly games, you know, 17-14, you're winning games. That's all that we care about as Jeff fans.
Right. You know, and as far as tonight's game, I mean, this time of year, Jake, it's almost like the draft, you know? It's like you build up to it. I don't really care about this game. Maybe the wide receivers, see what some of the undrafted ones can, you know, if they can add a little more to their what they've done so far. But that's about it for me. I just want the season to start. It's like the draft. You do mock drafts for 3 months. We talk about who we're picking, and it gets to the point where just get here. But
I'm
Jake,
with you.
lastly, did you watch Gator's Beast video?
I did. Yes,
You watched the whole thing?
I did.
To me, I commented in Discord, but to me, the funniest line in that came from Bobby when he told Beast, he goes, "You ain't shit, you big bag of shit." That was classic, but that's all I got, Jake. Have a safe trip back, and we'll talk later.
Papa, I appreciate you. I'm going to post a link in the chat right now. Beast episode 1 that Gator made. Gator, you can post it as well. Gator did like a history of Beastbreaker. He's doing a series on Beast's origins. It's just called Beastbreaker episode 1. It's on the Gator McCluskey Sports channel. I just put the link in the live chat. It should have way more views. It only has 75 views. It is one of the funniest 16 minutes that I can promise you'll have today. It is great. Let's see. Cheeseman in on the raffle for 5. Good luck, Cheeseman. You got this, baby.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Boom, 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 boom from Cheeseman in for 5. Also, we have Big Country. I heard Beast getting Bills custom kicks. No way.
Nobody gives a shit.
That was not Beast in those photos. Those were edited, trying to make it look like Beast was a Bills fan. But anyone with a brain knows that's not Beast. Stop it. You really expect me to believe that this is actually a real photo of Beastbreaker? Come on. No chance. No way. Beast is a Jet fan. Right, Beast?
Been there, done that. This is fake. Throw it in the trash. Or, as they say in Spanish, basura, cabrón, way.
Oh, shit. Amen. Amen. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Gator just posted Beastbreaker episode 1 in the chat as well. Kyle Clifton says, in for Corbett. Go Hofstra Pride, formerly Flying Dutchman. It is a bummer that Hofstra doesn't have football anymore, right? Like, they produced legit NFL players. Marcus Colston, Wayne Corbett, Willie Colon. It's just a bummer, man. Like, they have the facilities to have a football program, and they don't have one. Clifton, thank you for the super chat, though. I got you down in our Wayne Corbett signed jersey raffle for 2. Home stretch of the show here. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Cheeseman says, Beast isn't a fraud, but he is a wizard. Now, Beast would deny that one as well. Let's see. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Ralphie writes in, would Papa Jet shave his beard for a Jets Super Bowl win? I think Papa would do that in a second because the beard would grow back. I think he'd do that immediately. I think Papa Jet is such a big Jet fan, he would do that for a 9-win season. Hell, he might do it for the Jets if I say to everyone out there they're mathematically alive in late December. Not even a guarantee of anything. That's what I think. My brother, who's sitting right next to me, says, hair grows back. Super Bowls are forever. That is true. Tough to argue with logic there. Tough to argue with that one. Gator says, there is a moment in Beastbreaker episode 1 when he refers to himself as a sorcerer. That is true. That is on the record. And we know Beast did have wizard spray the other day, but he continues to deny the wizard claims. Mike Debs in our raffle for 1. Mike, appreciate you. We got you down. Signed Corbett jersey coming up. Ralphie in the house. Widge is a former Hofstra softball player. She's in. Who's Widge? W-I-G-E. Should I know who that is? Oh, wife. It was a typo. Wife is a former Hofstra softball player. Love it. Ralphie, good luck. No one's been hotter in the raffles the last couple of days than Ralphie rocks. Garrett Wilson jersey. And he follows that one up yesterday by going out there and winning the signed Revis jersey. So he won the Garrett yesterday. He won the Revis jersey 2 days ago. I got my days all blended. I got the Vegas, brain fog right now. Not easy doing these shows early. That's the one drawback of being an East Coast guy on the West Coast. The show must go on, but the timing makes it tough. Quill says, am I in the raffle for gifting one? Absolutely. Anyone who ever gifts a membership is in the raffle. And just a reminder on our weekly prizes in the raffle this week, folks. Signed Broadway Joe Namath jersey. Been a few weeks since we did a Namath prize. Signed Hall of Fame signature Mawai jersey and signed photo of Klecko. Signed photo of Lions and the New York Sack Exchange. Plus, I might throw in a signed Sauce jersey that you see on the screen. So stick around for that one. All right, home stretch of the show. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Bunch of you are starting to line up on hold, so let's keep it rolling. Jedaholic is up next. What's up, Jedaholic?
Hey, Jake. Happy Friday. How's Vegas?
Vegas has been a lot of fun. It always is.
I've never been. It's definitely something I want to experience. Just have too much going on right now, but one day for sure.
For sure, man. Hopefully you make it happen soon. You guys stay at Circuit when you come out here.
Hell yeah, I would definitely love to do that sometime. I got a question. How concerned are you with the whole Tyrod thing with him already being hurt? Like, I got to be honest, I'm a little concerned because he's always hurt, and God forbid Fields goes down. I do not want to see Brady Cook or Adrian Martinez coming into a regular season game.
Yeah, look, it's a completely fair concern just because he's been injury prone in his career. He got banged up doing what exactly, right? Like, he's not getting hit in practice, so he's just an older quarterback, right? He's 36. I mean, they say he'll be ready for week 1, but we don't know that. I mean,
we've heard that before. I know this is a lot different than Salah, but how many times would he say, "Oh yeah, so and so's good. He'll be ready to go." Then the next week, "Oh yeah, he's out for the season."
Yeah, we have
You know
heard
what I
that. We have heard that a lot.
But I don't think this coaching staff is like that, thank God. And I just want to say too, like, I feel like the whole Fields thing during the preseason has been a little overblown. Like, yes, he looked great against the Packers. Then he, didn't look good against the Giants, but the whole offense didn't look good. I just think you can't buy too much into the preseason because you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Engstrand's not going to show his hand. Like, I just feel like Fields isn't the best like practice and preseason guy. He's better like when it's actually a game that counts. Like, you got to factor all that stuff, and let's at least give it 4 or 5 weeks before we start jumping to conclusions. I think if Engstrand is legit and the O-line is as good as it should be, our offense should at least be functional.
Agreed. I think the big question, once again, is going to remain in spots where you need to just throw. The game will dictate that, where you can't run because of whatever the circumstances are.
Yeah.
Can they be competent there? I don't think they're going to be great.
Very
but
true.
They do have Garrett Wilson. They do have Mason Taylor. Arian Smith could give you something as a deep threat. And do you have a coordinator that maybe could scheme guys open, call the right screen against the blitz? Like, that's part of it too, right? Like, sometimes a great offensive pass play is you had the right play call for what the defense is giving you. If they're sending the house to stop the Jets run, can you do a great play action that sets something up downfield? Can you go out there and get a screen to Breece Hall that he's able to take the distance? Like, that's the stuff that Tanner Engstrand has to get Fields prepared for to execute.
Yeah, I agree. I think not that Fields is dumb because he's not dumb, but I feel like they kind of have to like maybe dumb things down a little bit for him at times and just like almost like think for him and get him prepared for what's about to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and they can tell him on the headset, like, "Oh, this is what we're seeing. Make sure you look for this," that type of shit. And then I do want to say too, like along with my little header right there, I'm gonna boo the shit out of Rodgers week 1, and I can't wait for that. I feel like that's gonna be the loudest MetLife has been since week 1 when we first got Rodgers.
Let me ask you though, you have like actual hate for Rodgers?
Just, I don't know. I don't like the way it ended and a couple of the comments he made. I was all in for Rodgers, and then I don't know. I just towards the end I kind of felt like it wasn't worth it anymore. That's just my opinion. And like I said, I didn't really like a couple of things he was saying on the McAfee show after we had gotten rid of him, and the Steelers fans chanting "F the Jets" and all that. I just hate the Steelers with a passion. So by default, it makes me hate Rodgers now. So
yeah, look, I get it. I don't hate him though. Like you could boo him, like that's fine. That makes sense to boo him. He's the quote unquote enemy now. But
Yeah.
I could never really hate the guy. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not.
No,
It's
I
not
get it.
personal.
I'm not saying you're wrong for that. Just me personally, like half my family Steeler fans, so I already hate them with a passion, anyways. And they never get to see a losing season. Like just one time, I want to see Pittsburgh win like 5 games and let their fans be miserable, so they can see what it's like.
Yeah, look, it'd be nice if the Jets could knock them off week 1. That is for sure. That'd be a
Oh
huge
yeah, I'll be
win
there,
for
and I can't wait for it. So I'm hoping so.
ladies and gentlemen, Jetaholic will be
Thank you,
there.
Jake.
They'll be passionate, leading the charge.
You get the fuck out.
We need the Jet defense to show up that day. Because Rodgers is not playing in the preseason. He could be very rusty. Very rusty. Take advantage. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Gypsy is gifted a channel membership. He joins the Asmaniac Raffle for 1. Uno Jets in the house with his patented Let's Go Jets. He's in the raffle for 2. And then last but certainly not least, the great Frank P just gifted a 5 spot of channel membership.
We are mama way.
Man, Frank, thank you very much for your support. Okay, bunch of you are still on hold. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, home stretch, we get to all the remaining callers, including the great Lane Train, who's coming up. So you're not going to want to miss that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am in Vegas. We are at Circa Las Vegas. It's contest weekend. Place is popping. Ultimate contest weekend, the place to be for any football fan each and every year. Right now, a short break, and then the Lane Train and your home stretch of calls right after this. Is there any truth to the rumor you're having Kenobyl on your show?
Maybe.
Who the fuck do you think you are, Charles? I'm the Kenobyl, and I'm playing for the Jets next year. You better get used to it, motherfucker, because I'm coming to get you.
Did you see the interview we did with Kenobyl yesterday when he called in?
No, I did not.
I'm just kidding, Charles. I love you, man. You're the greatest. I just want to be your friend, okay? So, please do my friend. Motherfucker!
All right. Charles, thank you for the time today. Last night on a radio station in this town known as The Fan, WFAN, Keith McPherson took a call from Bobby Midnight, who wanted to ask some questions about Kenobyl.
All right, let's go back to Bob in Vermont.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think the Jets and Giants will do on the draft, your choices? And also, do you ever hear of a player from college called Kenobyl?
Kenobyl? From what school?
College.
Yeah, but what college?
It's just college. Do you ever hear that guy's name?
No, I've never heard of Kenobyl from college.
Kenobyl.
Kenobyl from college? What position does he play?
He plays offense and defense.
He plays offense and defense? He's a two-way guy?
Yep, that's what he said.
How do you spell the last name?
Kenobyl. I can't remember how you spell it. It starts with K, I know that.
Okay, because I'm spelling it wrong on Google.
No, Kenobyl.
Thanks for the call, Bob. I do not know who Kenobyl is. Maybe somebody listening knows of a player, a two-way player coming out of college that gives you like 300 options. I'm looking at Zoo. He's just laughing. I'm trying to find out. A two-way player plays offense and defense. Kenobyl is coming.
You ever hear of Kenobyl?
There were 2 listeners of mine who called WFAN asking 2 separate hosts if the Jets should take Kenobyl, and each host was like, they were stumped. They're like, I haven't done enough draft prep. I'm unaware. And they're reciting lines from the show.
John and Seaford, what's up, bud?
A lot of these Jet fans out there want Brock Bowers.
Yes, that is the sexy name surrounding the Jets.
I think the 3 options you go, O-line, receiver, or if Kenobyl out of college is there, you got to take Kenobyl. 5'7", 198, plays both sides of the ball. Not sure if you know him. Mel Kiper had him top 15 pick. What are your thoughts on Kenobyl?
I don't know him that well. I'll be totally honest with you. Bro, I gotta do more draft prep. I don't know, you said he plays both sides of the ball. Makes me think, who plays both sides of the ball in the NFL?
We now have Kenobyl's testing numbers. There's a reason why Kenobyl has skyrocketed off the draft boards here. He has tremendous testing numbers. It's tremendous. The only knock on Kenobyl is he's 5'7", 198. But he's a two-way player. He can play both sides of the ball. And if you were listening to WFAN last night, it was Rob from Glenhead, not Johnny Quest impersonating Rob from Glenhead, called in to ask FAN host Keith McPherson if the Jets should consider this Kenobyl guy.
Let's go to Rob in Glenhead first up on the Fan.
Well, yeah, I'm out right now with my friend Neil Chipotle, just chilling out, talking Jets, smoking cigars. I was listening yesterday to your show. The guy Bobby from Vermont called up about this guy Kenobyl. Yeah, I think I found out who he was talking about.
Okay, what college? What school?
I didn't get that, but there was an NFL Network did a spotlight on him. Neil, look up the college this kid went to. So it's pronounced Kenobyl when he was in an island, but then they changed to Kenobyl when he came over. They were talking about. I think his brother was a 7th round pick in like 2022. Dude, the kid. Listen, I don't know if he's going to go in the first round, but he plays receiver and nickel corner. His stats are crazy.
Do you know how to spell his last name? I have not heard of this kid.
Kenobyl. Neil, look it up. I can't spell shit. 40-yard dash, 4.3. Cone drill, 6.41. I don't even know if that's good. You know, you're an athlete. Is that good?
I guess 6.41. It could be faster.
Vertical, 47.
No, that's ridiculous.
The fact is this: if you're getting a receiver and a nickel, if he plays receiver, we need a receiver, right? Because Lazard's terrible. And if he's nickel corner, we have Michael Carter, who I think is going to be a free agent next year. You can't afford him, so you replace him.
I don't know, but that's what confused me yesterday. We're talking about a two-way player getting drafted and expected to play both ways?
Yeah, dude, I never heard of it until I saw it on the NFL Network. And then when Bobby was talking about it, I'm like, that sounds familiar. I looked it up. The crazy thing, he's from like some small island near Hawaii. They have like 350 kids. It was like 13 kids on his high school team. That's why he went both ways. I know most times in New York and New Jersey, everyone goes both ways.
In high school, yeah, but in college, that's why I'm like, I haven't been watching NFL Network.
If they can get this kid in the first, I don't think he's going to fall to 10, and maybe the Giants. Maybe the Cowboys get him. Where the Cowboys pick him?
24, they're cooked.
He'll probably be gone by then.
Do you know the spelling of his name?
Oh, Neil, you got that name?
Yeah, here
all
it
right.
is.
Yep.
K-A-N-O.
Yep.
B-L-E. I'm going to hang up and listen, Keith. Be good, all right?
Yeah, thanks for the call. So we were talking last night. Yeah, Bob from Vermont called in, was talking about this kid, and I never heard of him. Kanoble NFL draft? Nah, you guys got to be trolling me. This is like the...
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't? You can get the out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.
Oh, yeah, we are back here at Circa Las Vegas. Quick reminder, Jet fans, if you're looking for something awesome to do ahead of the season, tomorrow I am flying back from Vegas. Well, technically tonight, I'm flying back on the red eye from Las Vegas because I have agreed to host/MC the Badlands Jet season kickoff party. So join me tomorrow at Stout Grand Central. If you join the fun, aka you buy a ticket, use coupon code ASMAN so I could give you 10 raffle tickets for supporting the show, representing the Asmaniacs. It's going to be a lot of fun. Joe Caporoso, Connor Rogers host the flagship podcast Badlands. Will Paz, part of their network. PK, Paul Kilgallen, who joined us earlier this week. He'll be there. A bunch of great Jet fans all gathering 4 to 7, talking Jets, enjoying some beverages, celebrating the start of football season. So it's from 4 to 7 tomorrow. Tickets are still available. If you go, let me know so I could get you down in the raffle. But I will be there tomorrow hosting the event, and that's why I'm cutting my Vegas trip short tonight. Instead of staying through Saturday, I'm flying back tonight. So I'm doing the post-game show tonight, people, after Jets-Eagles ends. Right, the game for me starts at 4:30 out here. Then after the game, I'm going to go live right away. Probably do an hour or so on the post-game show, then head to the airport, catch my red-eye flight, and be ready to host an event at 4 o'clock tomorrow. So the grind doesn't stop. But if you want to hang out and meet me in person and talk some Jets, you could do so. The link's in the description. It's, once again, the Badlands season kickoff party, and the link is badlandstoj.com, but I have the info in the description video. All right. Home stretch, people. Want to get to your remaining calls, but first, let's shout out Frank P., who says, Jake, can you put those memberships in Stack's name? Absolutely. Incredibly kind of you to do so, Frank P. Shout out to Stack, one of the greats. Kyle Clifton. He says, more entries He wants in the Corbett signed jersey raffle we're doing at the end of the stream for those of you tuning in late. He says more entries. I think the Dolphins are going to be bad, starting to tune out their coach a bit. I've said this for a while. If there's a bet I love, I like the under 8.5 on the win total for the Miami Dolphins. I just don't think they're that good. The roster got old. I don't trust Tua to stay healthy. Their backup quarterback is Zach Wilson. Tyreek Hill's older, and it seems like him and McDaniel are having issues. Him and Tua are having some issues. It just, oh my God. Our flight is now already delayed. We went from 11:59 tonight to 12:27 a.m. On the positive, there's more gambling time later. On the negative, there's less sleep for me before this Badlands event tomorrow. Uh-oh. Anyway, 12:27. But to finish my point on the Dolphins, I don't think they're any good. I think they smell. They stink, if you will. Oh. That's what I think of the Dolphins. Kyle, thank you. You're in the raffle for 5 with this. Papa Jet with the greatest of beards in the Asmaniac raffle for 1.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
All right, on that note, let's get back to your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by none other than the Lane Train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good.
Hey, Lane, before we start your call, I just want to share with those who maybe didn't see the news in our Discord and some of the comments that Lane shared the news that unfortunately his dad passed away the other day. So on behalf of everyone, Lane, our condolences to you and your family.
No, I'll go take a shower. Oh, okay, Alan. All right. Hi, Jake.
Hey, Lane, did you hear any
I
of
don't
that?
feel like myself. Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear about the passing of your dad.
Passed on. So sad. I was liquidating a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, Lane. But can you please?
It was yeah.
So I sent you a bunch of stuff on behalf of the community.
Carly, oh wait, actually, that's some of Carly's perfume. You know what would make my day? A bikini.
That's what you want? A bikini?
Yeah.
Okay. We can work on that for you, Lane.
Yeah.
What about a Jets jersey? Yesterday, Eli Betts reached out. He said that he wants to send you a jersey because he won a jersey on my show yesterday. So if you had to pick a Jets player whose jersey you want, Lane, who would it be? Because I'm going to send you that from Eli.
I would have to say either a Justin Fields or Jermaine Johnson jersey.
Okay, I will send you a Jermaine Johnson jersey.
Maybe a helmet, a Jets helmet, the ring from Joe Namath, and maybe an Aaron Glenn jersey. It was a soccer to me, actually, that I found it dead. It was like gargling. He was bleeding. I thought he had a seizure, but he had a stroke probably. So I had to go in the ambulance to stay with mom in the hospital. Most sickenest thing I've ever seen.
I'm so sorry, Lane. How's your mom doing?
She's taking it pretty hard. My aunt's been here. We're probably going to have some people around Sunday, have some food, my favorite. Now, the real reason why I called was the Jets should really work on it. You have Martinez. You have Fields. I hear he's better. I also hear that there's going to be this Sunday is another Jets game, but it's preseason. Do you know who they're
Friday,
playing?
Lane, tonight is another Jets game.
Yeah, I know. Let me see who they're playing. Maybe Kenobyl will probably. I don't know if he'll be drafted next year for the Jets. Do you know who else you start? Do you start? Yeah, I'm talking to Jake Asman.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Say hi. Mom, Suzanne said hi to you.
Tell your mom we all say our sincere condolences, okay?
Yeah,
Lane?
I will. But anyway, before I go, how do you feel about the way the Giants are going to play this year? Because I watched the game last night and they lost.
I think the Giants, they have an improved roster, but I think their schedule is really
It's
tough.
50-man roster.
Yeah,
They're probably going to cut down before training camp is done.
I would say they're definitely going to make cuts, yes.
Why do you think that you should cut down on the Jets also?
Well, by NFL rules, they have to cut the roster to 53.
How's your brother doing? Good? Is he busy?
He's doing well. He's right to my left right now. Zach, come over here and wave hi to
Yeah,
Lane.
can I say hi to your brother? Make me feel better.
Hey, Lane.
Hi. He
We're
looks
all
just
really
like
sorry
you.
for your loss, man.
Yeah, I know. So I want to ask your brother something. How do you feel about the Mets? Do you think they'll do good this year?
The Mets.
Well, Lane, I myself, I'm a Yankee fan like Jake, but didn't the Mets blow another one last night to the Nationals, or was that 2 days ago?
No, that was yesterday during the day.
Right. But I mean, they're in trouble, man. They're sort of slipping. I think they'll make the playoffs, obviously, but the fact that they had this kind of like the Yankees, they were running away with the division, and
Yeah,
then
I know.
Lane, your ability to just pivot on a dime is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I know. The Mets have too many injuries now, and now Black, can't speak. Paul Blackburn has been released, and um, Aiden was called up to catch. Yeah, God willing, there's better days to come with me. Maybe I'll go to Florida next year and relax.
Next year? Why you got to wait so long to relax, Lane?
Well, because I get pretty tan.
You do get tan. You look good with a tan.
Carly. Oh, you know what make me feel better if you could bring on Bobby and I could talk to him.
Well,
if he's
Bobby
available.
Midnight, if you're out there, you're being summoned by the late train. Bobby's not
Let's see if he could come on. Let's see who else is there that could talk.
You want to talk to Beast?
Yeah, maybe he'll make me feel better.
All right. Hold on. Let me see if we could get the Beast on the line. Lane, stand by. I'm going to do what I can here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lane train is with us. Hold on. Lane, I'm going to try and summon the man that we know on this channel as the Beast.
Hi.
Oh, it's Captain. Oh, where's your toot train? Toot toot.
I got some news to tell you. My dad died.
Oh my God, what happened?
He had a heart attack the other night.
Son of a bitch. Unreal.
Yeah.
Sorry about
How's it
that, kid. But how old was he?
71.
Jeez. Same age as Hulk Hogan. Unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah, no. The funeral was yesterday.
Well,
yeah.
I feel sorry for you, big fella. But think of it this way. Did he go to your graduation? Did he do everything for you?
Yeah.
Very good. That's the first step to immortality. Just remember, think of it this way: 30 or 40 more years. Just think of it this way: he did something for you. Now do something back.
Yeah.
You'll at least grow a future and do what you need to do. Stay on the right path, and you'll get somewhere in life. Don't worry, it shows a smile. I know it's crappy outside. I know it's a cloudy day, but
it's nice out. No, it's actually warm. It's nice out today. Maybe I'll take a walk later. I don't know.
There you go. That's some spirit. Now go out and enjoy the day. And hey,
I'm listening.
Go back.
So how do you feel about the Jets? You think they'll do good?
I think we'll just be fine. Everyone's gotta relax.
The Jets.
We're always sending our second and third strings out tonight. You can't just send your first strings in there. No.
They're playing the Eagles.
It's only the Eagles. So what? They're nobodies. They're nothing happening team. A bunch of low lifes.
Yeah,
so we'll be fine. Just relax. Have a pizza puff. Go enjoy the day and watch some baseball after that. Okay? Just be who you are. Be who you are. Enjoy.
I'll tell you what, Beast. That was a great advice she gave to Lane right there. That was a great Beast call.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a lot more to say. I mean, honestly, if you have Martinez starting tonight, you're going to have to start him in the first half. Fields should be ready to come in the second half.
I don't think we're going to see Fields tonight. I think he's going to get the night off to rest and get ready for week 1.
All right, so thank you for taking my call.
You got it, Lane.
But yeah, I know you have other callers waiting online. All right, so have a great day, and go Jets.
Lane, tell your family that we all send our condolences, okay? And if you need anything, You always have us, all
Oh,
right?
and also, do you know if you have any like butthole hat
Butthole.
like just like what uh what's his name? Oh yeah, Charles. Uh,
What about Butthole and Charles?
yeah, let's see if
Are you talking? I think I speak Lane. Are you saying I should play a Charles fart clip?
yeah, that'll make me
Oh, okay.
like and next time.
I'll tell you what. If you want a Charles fart clip, Lane, let me see what I
Yeah.
can do here.
Excuse me.
Thank you. All right, so thank you for taking my call, and I have to say Jets, and thank you.
You got
Have
it,
a nice
Lane.
day.
All right, send your best to
You're
your
welcome.
family for us, all
I
right? We're all
will.
here for you.
Thank you.
You got it.
Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
This show, man, impossible to describe to people that don't watch it. That is the Lane Train. We went from butthole to I spoke enough Gorman there to translate. Unreal. Lane, hang in there, buddy. And Lane, do me a favor. I see you're in the private chat. Please send me your email. All right? I want to get in touch with you. But I had your address previously, and I already sent you a couple surprise items for you. And we're going to send you a Jermaine Johnson jersey, too. That's from Eli Betts, who was nice enough to reach out to me and say that he wanted to dedicate his jersey to Lane. Once again, this community remains undefeated. All right, a couple calls left, then we will do the raffle. And by the way, if it's okay with everyone, I'm adding Eli into this raffle for the Corbett jersey here for 5. So hopefully Eli has a chance to win again, if not a weekly prize. And I'm sending Eli a Garrett Wilson shirt for my merch store because what he did yesterday for Lane is so nice. Calzone Moto is up next. What's up, Calzone?
Hey, Jake. How's it going?
What's up, my friend?
Oh, not a whole lot. Hey, condolences to Lane and his family. I lost my dad 2 years ago. I know how it goes. Around the same age, actually. So definitely sad to hear that. But time really does heal all wounds. That was a great call from Beast, by the way. He is a borderline national treasure at this point. I'll keep it quick, Jake. I know you're trying to wrap up the show, and you've probably got at least another caller on the line. So a couple things I wanted to mention. You brought it up earlier. Dolphins are going to suck this year. I agree with you 100%. I don't see, looking at their roster and what they got going on, I do not see how they can squeak out 8 wins. I mean, weirder things have happened. I get it. But the other thing I wanted to really kind of hit on, because we talked about earlier in the show, or at least it was kind of brought up, was, I think Dave Briga brought it up. That's his name, right? Dave Briga?
Dave Briga, yep.
Okay, yeah. So he brought it up about, kind of the hate on Beast. And, I see that a little bit, and I get some of it. I understand it, poking fun and all that. But, the hate on people like Beast and Gary and Lane and even Bobby and those guys, those guys help make the show. They're putting themselves out there, just like I'm calling in right now. They're putting themselves out there. They're putting their face to their comments, and then these guys in the chat just want to talk. They just want to talk all day, and they don't want to put their face out there. So feel free, put your face out there. Say something. I mean, it's fine to poke fun, but if you're going to talk, then go ahead and put your face out there too. And then the other thing is, the other day, I don't remember what day it was. I think Kyle called in, and he had a take that some other people didn't agree with, and there was some flames going back and forth in the chat about the take. And it's like, everybody, first of all, needs to settle down. It's preseason. But number two is, we're just fans, right? I mean, not all of us can sit around and sweat on our keyboard looking up statistics all day and find out, who the best this and the best that is. We're out there basically rooting for laundry, in Seinfeld terms. And, in the end, I got a job to do. I got a family. I got, cars I got to fix. I got stuff I got to do. I try to watch as much football as I can. And I tune into this show, honestly, in the background when I'm working at my desk. Try to tune in every day if I can. And I got it running, it's going on, and then I blop over every now and again, make a comment if I hear something interesting. But for the most part, I'm not I'm not the guy that's going to sit there and have all the statistics and stuff. So I'm saying is just calm down. Some people aren't going to have the take you agree with, but we're all just fans. Jake, I think you might be muted. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Hold on. Do you hear me now, Calzone?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm having some tech issues here, so I might have to restart my StreamYard after I get done with your call. But I think you're spot on. I think it's great takes. We love the callers. The callers drive the show. The Asmaniacs make this what it is. So I agree with all your points. Well said.
And go Jets. So I'll hop off. But we're in for a good season, guys.
Calzone, thank you very much. All right, I think I don't have control of my channel just yet. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw to, hopefully I could even do this. I'm going to throw to a short. Oh, it won't even let me do that. All right, let's see what I have available to play in the meantime here. Will it let me play anything? I'm not even sure. Here's what I'm going to do. Give me 30 seconds. I'm going to go dark here, and I'll come back, and then I will be able to regain control of the remaining calls and do our raffle. But oddly, I'm not able to do anything right now. So give me 30 seconds, and then we will get right back to the show. Stand by. Testing. Is this thing on? I think we're back. All right. Thank you guys for your patience here. I have control over my browser, which is important. Hey, congrats to Brian who wrote in 4 months, no alcohol today. Brian, happy for you. That's awesome news. Let's get to your remaining calls now, shall we? And for those of you tuning in late, we will raffle away a signed Wayne Corbett jersey at the end of the show. Game day, football Friday. That's what's coming up at the end of the show. Sluggo, he's on the show right now. What's up, Sluggo?
Hi, Jake. First off, condolences to Lane and his family. Godspeed for your father, Lane. I have
Hey, Sluggo, can you mute YouTube in the background?
I just did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have I think if the Jets D is really good, and I think they're going to be pretty good if they can keep them in the game, keep it within like a score or so. I think they could win a few games. And whatever teams are good against the run, I think those are the teams that are going to really be detrimental to the Jets. I don't think people are going to throw on them crazy. And so that's what it all. And hey, look, Fields is what he is. He's not going to come back from 3 touchdowns down with his arm. His forte is running, his legs, and that's a weapon. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see what the hell happens.
Well, I agree with you, but I think there's a path where, they're in a lot of one-score games. And if the coaching's improved, we have a legit kicker. That's their avenue to be a scrappy, 7-8, maybe more Fields' better team. Like, I think that's kind of what we're looking at. Fields really struggles, and there's some injuries, and Engstrand's not as good as some think he is. Then you're probably looking at a 5-6 win season. I think that's kind of like the margin of the win total for this team. Like that those kind of factors determine if this is a 5-6 win year or if it could be a lot better, maybe a 9-10 win season.
And that really shows that the Folk signing was real important.
100%. He's been great in summer, and he's been good the last couple of years. I'm glad they have him back.
One more thing, I think Braylon Allen's going to outrush Breece Hall this year.
He might. I think Breece is going to be probably like I think if you want to say that Braylon Allen has more rushing yards, I could see it. I think Breece will have more scrimmage yards if you combine receiving and rushing.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. But I'd like to see him run like a little wishbone or something and have Fields stick that ball in Beck's belly and ride him into the line, pull it out, and pitch to Breece.
I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see, maybe not the wishbone, but I think we're going to see a lot of quarterback option.
Flexbone. It doesn't have to be grouped up. Flex them out.
Yep. I think we will see that. I do.
Yeah. And one more thing. Sorry. I think this RPO doesn't really need a great or really good number 2. Now, if Fields goes down, I think you're going to need a better number 2 because I think the offense will change a bit because they don't want Tyrod running like Fields does. So, but that's it, Jake. Safe flight.
Thanks, Sluggo. Appreciate it. Excellent call. Call in more, Sluggo. You always have great takes on the Jets. Always on point. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in here. Ladies and gentlemen, week 1 is upon us. So guess what? That means you have until then to get $500 off the Gangrene Legends cruise. Check out the website if you haven't done so already. All right. It is all in the description, but I'm just going to reiterate it again on the show because the Gangrene Legends cruise is fast approaching. Cruisewithlegends.com for all the information if you want to save $500 by booking in advance. That's cruisewithlegends.com for all the information about the Gangrene Legends cruise featuring me, Fireman Ed, Marty Lyons, Kevin Mawai, Jericho Cotry, Leon Washington, Bilal Powell, Chris Ivory, Sean Ellis, Matt O'Leary, Green Bean, Richie from Jets Media, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. Let's go. All right. Our closer today is Adam is too cool. What's up, Adam?
Hey. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy your last day in Vegas, last night in Vegas, or half night in Vegas.
I mean, if my flight keeps getting delayed, it might end up being another full night.
Oh, well, I guess in the end, it's the same amount of time in the air, no matter when it takes off. So you'll still get your sleep somehow. But I hope you're having a great time. Looking forward to hearing when you go back there next, and hopefully Circle will keep hooking you up, and maybe they'll hook some Asmaniacs up with something. You never know, right?
That's right. That's right.
Pretty cool. So for today, right? Today's game. Do you think that the Jets, like, sometimes would they play players in to show them off in order for them to be traded? Do you think that might be an objective of them today, especially if they know they're not really playing their starters? Are they going to try and feature players that, ironically, they actually want to get rid of?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the Jets maybe trying to showcase Malachi Corley if they're just going to cut him and try and get a 7th-round pick or something for him, right? Like maybe you feature him in a play that you would run in the regular season for Arian Smith, but tonight it's going to Corley. I mean, I don't know, though. I think some of that stuff could be a bit overrated. Like how many teams are seeing what a guy does in the last preseason game and being like, yep, like we're now going to trade for him. But it doesn't hurt if someone that you have no use for, you could get something for. So maybe we see some of that with certain guys tonight. I can see that.
And I can see it the other way too. It'd be like if JBC is really on the edge and there's a market for JBC, like maybe he doesn't play because they don't want to get him injured. So I don't know. It's a really interesting philosophical thing. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out with this first year of the administration.
100%. I think ultimately what they do coming up here is going to be fascinating because I think the 53 man that they start with might not be the 53 by the time we get to like Wednesday or Thursday, I guess it'd be when we find out about some of the waiver claims of the players that are released.
Yeah, I am like dreading the idea that, well, it's not dreading, but it's more like if the Dolphins are really bad, like they may clean house and they may actually like trade Tyreek Hill to some team that we end up running into. So there's a possibility we end up playing Tyreek multiple times.
You can't think about that though. You can't worry about it.
I know, it's ironic. I was thinking of this crazy thing just now where it's like, imagine like if the Commanders really don't want to pay Terry McLaurin, they ship him off with the intent of getting Tyreek Hill later in the year. Like that's pretty wild if that were to happen. But
yeah,
that's other teams. Let's worry about the Jets, right? So hopefully we feel good about our wide receiver 2 situation. I really like what Faria said today about how like there's only so many targets wide receiver 2 is going to get, which I kind of agree with because I think in a way you can make an argument RB3 to us is probably more important than wide receiver 2. But I don't know. Is that too extreme in the other direction?
Yeah, I think it is because I think you have Brees and Braylon. I mean, obviously they both get hurt. That changes things, but I do think when it comes to this team passing wise, sure, they're not going to throw a ton, but you still need someone that could beat a one-on-one matchup because Garrett's going to get doubled a lot. And there's going to be moments where you need to throw. And sure, we like Mason Taylor. I like the idea of Brees being more involved as a traditional receiver in the slot. I think we'll see that at times. I think they needed someone else that could make plays. And I just don't know if Reynolds, Lazard, or anyone else is that guy, Tyler Johnson.
I'm hoping that we actually get a waiver wire grab for tight end because I think hearing from Engstrand yesterday, it sounds to me like he's had a total poker face on what this offense is really going to look like. Like he was saying, he was like pretty much showing vanilla stuff. Nothing's really exposed yet. Like What if like Stone Smart's actually going to be a wide receiver, especially if they get another tight end? Like what's the difference between him and some of the other wide receivers that we've had, like Mike Williams and stuff? We talk about size, and if he can catch and he's got the size, like why not just play him as a wide receiver? Is that something that they may experiment with over the season?
Yeah, look, we're asking for creativity from our coaching staff. Whatever they think that could get the most out of these guys, you got to hope they could do.
I think we're going to see some awesome plays this year. I just have a really good feeling because the last year was so was so lame. And then it's like and some of the times when the plays were like wild into the solid regime, it was like a laugh track. This was like just a poorly executed, like wacky gadget play. So I think we're going to see some really cool stuff. I trust in our O-line. I think our O-line is really good. I think the Giants are a really great D-line, but at the same time, I don't think we're going to run into that kind of buzzsaw every week. So it's good that we're kind of thinking like, oh my God, we need to really improve. I'm sure the players are thinking that too, but it's so good that we like basically had to go up against a line like that early on so that we knew kind of what we need to work on. It was really good practice for the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's great that you got a chance to, especially a guy like Membu, right? And Olu's, he looked good last year in a limited sample size, but he's young too. Like these guys getting a chance to face those guys in the preseason is great to get them ready for TJ Watt and the Steelers week 1 and all the other elite pass rushers the Jets are going to run into this year.
And I do think just the way the team is set up to be young, and hopefully the young players will continue to prove themselves and grow. Like when we think about the holes on the team next year, like we know quarterback is an unknown. Like, there could be a situation where like, what if Fields overperforms and we've got our QB, we got a lot of positivity on the QB. Like how many holes do we really have left to really, really, really hone in on? This is just a young team. But to say as long as the defensive tackle situation also is, an area of probably a little bit of weakness, but much better this week than last week. I just think like let this team learn, and you got a coach that clearly wants to teach his players how to play. So I just think like I have a lot of positivity, even if the season doesn't really go well, but I think it will. I just think there's a lot to look forward to this year and next year, and I just want to see upward growth throughout the season. I still don't think the first half is going to be crazy, but the second half, I think we're going to be flying. I think we might steal a win or two that we don't expect in the second half.
From your lips to God's ears, Adam, but if they're going to steal wins in the second half, let's hope they could steal some wins in the first half too, so there's relevant football down the stretch.
Maybe. Why not? Maybe Wildcat.
I'll tell you what, whatever wins, that's all the Jet fan wants.
You get the fuck out.
Adam, good call. I said Adam was going to be the closer, but ladies and gentlemen, look who called in right at the buzzer. I had the wheel of champions ready to roll. So truly, this is your actual last chance to get in on our side Wayne Cremette jersey raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, is me extending the show for this guy's call going to be worth it? We find out right now.
He's pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. Garrett Box, he point at you. Garrett Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. I point.
What's up, Jake?
Hello,
Off-topic,
Gary.
Non-Jets related question. I got this new laptop. And I can't get my headset. It's not. I can't get my headset. It's coming out of the sound is coming out of the laptop, not the mixer. Which is fine. Like I don't care right now. But I'm gonna get a headset mic like you have. What would you recommend?
Do you want like a super nice one?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, the Rolls Royce of headsets, but I don't want the Honda Civic of headsets either.
I mean, I use what's called a Shure mic in the radio business. It's kind of like standard for like remote broadcasting. If you're on site doing play-by-play, or you're in like a loud environment like I am now in the ballroom. So I would recommend that.
Give me the name of it again.
Shure, SHURE.
SHURE. Oh, here it is. Okay.
You're looking for a specific headset mic. So type in Shure headset mic, and that should be the one you get.
Okay. It brings me right. Okay.
I'm glad that we had to do this live on the air, by the way. This could have been an email. You think about that one?
You're right. I was just
A Shure BRH44MLC dual-sided broadcast headset with 5-pin XLR cable on one. Ready? These tech names sound like plays. I just put it in the chat for you. All right, Gary?
I appreciate that, Jake. Thank you. And thank you for extending the show an extra 60 seconds for me. I appreciate that.
All right, now say women should be allowed to vote, and I'll let you go.
Oh, certainly. Women should be allowed to vote on the NBA All-Star game.
Chicken with pasta is worse than peanut butter with sandwich.
Ladies and gentlemen, a waste of all of our times. I apologize deeply. I trusted Gary there, and that one's on me. I thought he would add to the show. I thought the caller of Gary and his stature in this community would warrant extending the show, but unfortunately, Gary failed us, and I failed you guys for believing in him. Cheeseman says Gary the least favorite of the 4%. I'd imagine so. I'd imagine so. You know what? I'm going to try and make up for it right now. We need a new closer after that one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hold on, Jake. When you get on your flight tonight, before you head back, make sure you get a Salisbury steak, some taters, and a piece of some garlic. Not to go with that Salisbury steak.
Are you concerned at all about the passengers next to me, though, Beast? That sounds a little rough.
No. Just sit back, relax, think of good things, and just close your eyes, think of it, or watch a movie on the flight. You know, like Adam Savage did in Anger Management. You know, just going inhale, exhale. There. Just do that. Inhale, exhale. Just think of it. And tonight will be just fine. Prediction match, Jets 28, Eagles 10. 28-10. Now, let's go to the Wheel of Champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Beast, thank you. Andrew C., you made it. I put you in at the actual buzzer. Throw me in the raffle. Well, guess what, Andrew C.? You're in for 2. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the music. Here we go. Sign Wayne Corbett jersey on the line. Let's reshuffle the names here. Boom. All right. Good luck to everyone. If you win, you have to email me your name. You have to email me your address. And I will send you the Wayne Corbett jersey when I get back to New York City sometime this weekend or first thing Monday morning. I'll mail it out to you. All right. Once again, thank you to everyone who supports the show and makes these raffles possible. The winner of a signed Wayne Corbett autographed jersey is Paul Texter. Ladies and gentlemen, good luck to Paul. Hit the Jet chant. I think I said good luck to Paul. He already had the luck. Congratulations to Paul, I mean. Hit the Jet chant again. Congrats, Paul. Paul, I believe, is one before. Paul, shoot me an email. We'll get that sent out to you ASAP when I return back to New York. Again, thanks to everyone who supports the show. I am intending on doing a post-game show immediately after this game tonight. I might do it from the sports book. I might do it from my hotel room. We'll see on the timing of everything. But I got one more show later today. It's the post-game show, which is why we started this show a little later than we normally do. Plus, I'm on the West Coast and was out drinking last night with this lovely lady who's walking right over here. Well, you can't leave. Wow, she doesn't want to be on camera. Too bad. Okay. That's going to do it for me. On that note, I will talk to you guys on the post-game show tonight. Let's go Jets. Let's win. Let's beat the Eagles. Let's finish with a winning record in the preseason. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I'd rather win than lose. If they keep score, I want to win. That's how I look at it. On that note, thanks to my brother for his help producing these live shows here inside the ballroom at Circa Las Vegas. Thank you to Circa, of course, for having us. We'll have our post game tonight. On that note, I don't know if I have anything else I want to share other than go Jets, 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 Jets. And I'll leave you guys with this. You ready? Because it's going down.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
You get the fuck out. Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the fuck out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.